Hi guys! Welcome to our channel. My name's Ryan and I'm a Starlight.
I'm Sumiko and I'm an EXO.
And together we are
EXOByeol!
So for you guys who don't know, Byeol comes from the Korean word for starlight, which is Byeolbit.
And EXO plus EXO, we are one. That's our fandom name.
Today, as a part of our Welcome to Our Channel series, I lied to you. It's not a Welcome to the Channel series, but as a Welcome to Our Channel, we'd like for our new viewers to get to know us. So we're going to answer some questions about ourselves, because we're conceited like that. With that being said, here we go. First question.
What's your name?
Well, my name's Ryan, and I'm a Starlight.
Hi guys, I'm Sumiko and I'm an EXO.
So, number 2. Where are you from, and when were you born? So, I was born and raised here in El Paso, Texas. I've lived here all my life. I was born in 1992, so that makes me the ripe old age of 27.
I'm from El Paso too. I've lived here basically my entire life, and I'm 20, but I'll be 21 soon.
What do we do for a living? Okay, so right now I'm a full-time student. I am working on my master's degree right now at Southern New Hampshire, so I would consider that my job.
I'm gonna start school soon, so right now I'm just chilling.
Number 4.
Name 3 things that make you unique. Well, I'm Bubblyshy Zumi, which means I'm bubbly, but also really shy. My name, Sumiko. That's a really, really weird name. I'm Japanese / Mexican / American.
Alright, 3 things that make me unique. In 2017, I studied abroad at one of Korea's most prestigious. Clearly it was prestigious. At one of Korea's most prestigious schools, I went to Korea University. Yay, go Tigers! I am part Filipino, though you probably could not tell by the way I look. And I have a floating kneecap from an injury I sustained 10 years ago that was never diagnosed by the doctors, but I went to like 4 doctors, alright? So that was, yeah. So I'm a walking medical hazard. Number 5.
Your ultimate bias band. Oh lord.
If it wasn't obvious from the first 5 minutes of this video. She's thinking really hard, but truthfully she's really standing EXO and Super M right now. Yeah. Don't let the thinking look deceive y'all.
And what's the name? Hold up. Never mind. If I cannot remember their name, I'm not standing that hard. And shiny. Sorry.
And every shawl is like,
bitch, you played yourself.
Sorry.
So my ultimate band is VIX. Hence, I am a Byeolbit. I've loved them since 2013. Before that, I was really into M-Black. M-Black was my first ultimate bias group. But since M-Black, I love you, A+. Since M-Black is not very active anymore, I did end up falling for VIX and they became my ultimate group. I've also got 7 sidemen on the side with Monsta X. Ooh, shout out to Mon Bebe. But VIX is my ultimate group.
Your main bias and why is he your bias? Mine, Park Chan-yeol.
Get all the ladies.
And now my name is Park Chan-yeol. I get all the ladies.
Because he's really, 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 really talented. I mean, this boy composes music, acts, he sings, he raps. I mean, he's not the greatest dancer ever. I'm sorry, EXO, but let's admit it. He's a baby, but doesn't really act like a baby. Like on stage when they're not singing, he acts like one. He's a big tall baby. Oh my god. I'm sorry. I left out X1.
Well,
oh my gosh. I'm a disgrace to Wanted.
My ultimate bias is VIX's Leo. The reason being is that I got into VIX when they were promoting Hyde, so they were still fairly new to the scene. They were barely, starting to be known as the concept kings of K-pop. The first time I saw them, I was actually in the Philippines. I was watching KBS in the hotel. They were on After School Club. I was watching the very end of the show, and it was the part where they asked Leo to do the Kiyomi song. And he didn't want to do it, so the leader and literally pulled him up there, stood behind him, forced him to do it, and was just like, yeah, good job. And he was so shy, and everyone thought he was like such a really mean member because he was so chic, and so, he couldn't care less about anything. What drew me to him was that he really had a heart behind it. He was passionate about his job. And as he's come along now in 2019, he's opened up. I mean, God forbid he's lifting his shirt up on stage. Now, who would have almost dropped the computer? That's how excited I got. Who would have thought that the kid from My Doll, who was like, get that camera out of my face, would be like, look at my body. And every Starlight has died. Every Leo fan has since died, and we're all walking zombies right now. So that's why he's my favorite. Number 7. What was the first K-pop song you listened to? For me, okay, technically speaking, the first ever K-pop song that I heard was Top's Turn It Up. And you guessed it. I hated it so much. I was like, I don't get it. And for everybody who follows Big Bang, especially Top, he's very artistic, and he's very into like the Dadaism scene. So I didn't understand his music video. So my best friend actually showed me Taeyoung's wedding dress. And that's what kickstarted me, and I liked the music, I liked the guy, and yeah, so that was my first technical K-pop song.
Mine was EXO Machine, but it really didn't get me into K-pop. Like when I heard it, I was like, but then afterwards, my friend got me into K-pop, and like now, I really, 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 really like that song.
Number 7. What was the first band that you listened to, boy and girl? So the first full band that I listened to was Big Bang, followed by MBLAQ, and MBLAQ was actually the first group that I hardcore stan. The first girl group I ever listened to... Ooh, that's a good question. It took me a long time to get into the girl groups, but probably the first girl group I ever listened to was probably Girls' Generation. All the members are still there. So yeah, I think that was the first one, but I don't remember about the girl group.
Mine, for boy band, it was Newest. I saw Face, because it was something that I really didn't expect, especially because I thought like Ren was a girl at that time.
I did too, actually.
When I saw Ren, I was like, whoa, you're so beautiful. And then I found out he was a guy. And then I changed biases afterwards. And then afterwards, for girls, for me it took me a while, but it was 2NE1.
Hearts to all the blackjack out there, we feel you. So what made you get into K-pop? Ironically, what got me into K-pop was a Taiwanese drama. My friends had been watching a Taiwanese drama. It started with a kiss. If you guys have watched it, you'll understand. It's a cute drama. It's a love story. And oh God, Aaron Yanjiro Wang. Oh. Anyway, so from there, that kind of sparked the interest. For me, I was already interested in the culture for Asia. I hadn't really gotten into like the specifics. It was just Filipino. That's all I knew. So when I got into this Taiwanese drama, it actually opened up a door to me to a whole new area that I had not followed, and from there it kind of just tumbled. I got really into the Korean culture, through K-pop, listening to Taeyoung, listening to Big Bang, and listening to MBLAQ, and then it kind of just...
So for me, I used to listen to like Mexican music and like hip-hop. The way it happened was I would hang out with one of my friends, shout out to you, Amanda, and she would always like put K-pop on, and I would be like, oh, what is this? and she was a big BTS fan, so she would be like, oh, there's this and there's that, and I was like, oh, okay. So I started getting into it little by little. Like I searched up on my laptop K-pop on YouTube, and I saw newest, and that's how it went through. But I really never thought I would get into something like this, especially going 3 years now that I've been into K-pop. It's something I didn't expect to happen.
I don't think anyone puts it in their agenda. Fall in love with K-pop, and then let it spiral out of control because everybody goes through a phase.
Yeah. Have you watched any Korean dramas? If so, what's your favorite drama? Okay, so right now I'm watching Dream High, thanks to her. But I've actually watched a lot. My first drama was 49 Days. It's an old drama. It's second generation drama. But it's so good. But I would have to say, it's because Dream High is so good, but airs. Because Lee Min-ho's in it, so that's my favorite actor. But then also Taekyeon is on Dream High, and I'm just like, so let's just go with those. Here's and
Sorry, having a fight with the dog under the table. Get down! No. 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 No.
Okay, going back to what I was saying. So yeah, Here's and Dream High are my favorite dramas.
Let's see, for me, technically, like I said, my first drama was a Taiwanese drama, but my first K-drama was Dream High. But it wasn't my favorite. I mean, I've watched so many dramas, sorry, it's not my favorite. My favorite is My Love from the Stars with Kim So-hyun, okay? Yo, he was in Dream High too, also, so.
But you gave me so much about it.
Yo, let me tell you, this girl had no idea about Dream High. This is a staple drama in K-drama history.
But when I got into K-pop, Boys Over Flower was the drama
which is also a staple.
Literally, that's the drama that you had to watch to be known as a K-pop fan, just to be recognized as one.
Every JYP fan has just unfollowed you.
Sorry.
Yeah, so my favorite is My Love from the Stars. If you guys have not watched it, I recommend Dream High, definitely. I recommend My Love from the Stars if you haven't watched it. Both of them are completely different in terms of plot. Dream High follows high school students. My Love from the Stars follows a really good-looking alien on Earth. So,
how long have you been a K-pop fan?
It's been 84 years, y'all.
Guys, I've been into K-pop since HOT came out. Just kidding. HOT is 1998. For 3 years, like I told you guys. 3 beautiful years, going into 4. Which I don't regret being a K-pop fan. Like, I don't even mind hiding that I'm a K-pop fan, to be honest.
Yeah. She's hardcore Gen 3 K-pop stan over here. I got into K-pop in 2011, the peak of Gen 2 K-pop. So I've been into K-pop for 8 long years. Almost 3 of those years where I was hardcore, cringe fan. I have since gotten a hold of my pants and calmed down, but 8 years I have been a K-pop fan. Have you ever gone to a K-pop concert? If so, who have you seen live? Alright, so I'm going to have to go in order for this one because I've been to quite a few. We'll start with the year that I got into K-pop, 2011. I went to go see K-pop Masters. I don't know if anybody else that's going to watch this that went to K-pop Masters. If you are, shout out to the people who survived the rush on the floor because we all know that was a hot mess. So that concert had Shiny, TVXQ, 4 Minute, Gina, and Black, Brown Eyed Girls. There were a few other people, and I don't remember anymore. 2012, I went to the Korean Music Festival in Los Angeles, California. Brown Eyed Girls, there was a couple artists we didn't know. G.O.D. performed. We went there for M Black. 2013, I went to the Philippines. I went to go see Sung Ha Jung, who's a guitarist. If you've not checked out his videos, I highly recommend. He's an amazing guitarist. He does a lot of cover songs of not just K-pop, but other songs like Studio Ghibli and things like that. So Sung Ha-jung. And then I went to go see VIX in 2013. In 2014 and 2015, I believe I went to KCON, saw EXO OT12. SNSD original members were all there. Saw GD perform, saw FX perform, 2AM, a lot of groups like that. We went to go see VIX again in Chicago. And then I went to go see Monsta X this year. I went to go see Red Velvet this year. So I've kind of been around a lot. In 2017 I was in Korea. I met Ken of VIX and Leo of VIX. So
I have not. I actually had like the chance to go to a concert of Monsta X with her, but I had to work. Like he says, we gotta work, and I couldn't go.
That's too bad because I saw Shonu in the mall.
But hopefully, keep your fingers crossed, I can go and see Dreamcatcher with her. I might just go with her.
We'll see. What was the first K-pop merch you had ever bought? Oh god.
Oh, we're going down, sis.
Okay, so back in the day, man, I feel like I'm old. So in 2011, at the peak of Gen 2 K-pop, a lot of groups did not have official light sticks like we have now. So a lot of fans either had to make their own merchandise or just buy what was available through stores like in LA and stuff. Fortunately, where we live, there's no such thing. The Korean community, as far as entertainment goes, is not very big. So my first technical K-pop merch that I ever bought was an MBLAQ hat. And you can see it now. This was my first merchandise that I ever got. We did not buy these per se through a store. We actually bought the hats from just whatever hat store that they had here, and we took it into an embroidery place. We made 3 hats, so when I went to Las Vegas, all my friends and I, we all had this hat to represent for our favorite group.
Mine was a Twice album. Well, technically, it was the first thing I had bought in, like K-pop merchandise and stuff. It was the Cheer Up album. That one, my dad bought it for me because at that time I wasn't working still. When I got my first paycheck, I actually bought the EXO Don't Mess Up My Tempo album. As soon as I got my check, I was like, what was the first dance you had ever learned?
Okay, so story time. Once upon a time, I was such a die-hard fan of MBLAQ that we literally thought, we were like, if we do all this stuff, we are going to become super famous and be able to be friends with them and meet them, and we're going to audition for J-Tune Camp. And Rain, for those who didn't know, Rain, the artist Rain, used to own his own company called J-Tune Camp. And we were like, he's going to be our boss, and this, okay, Korea boo up the butt, right? Okay. So the very first cover I ever learned was MBLAQ's Mona Lisa. And it was bad. That was supposed to be for our debut for me and my friends' K-pop group.
Judging you.
Oh yeah, I'm judging myself.
For me, the first dance I learned was Twice TT. I'm like TT, just like TT. That was the first. That was the first dance I learned. I became a really hardcore Twice fan when that song came out. For some reason, Neon just caught my attention, and when I saw her like dressing up like that and stuff, I was like, and I just learned the dance. Plus, it's super, 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 super easy to learn it. I even dressed up for Halloween as Naomi or Sana. I'll put the picture right there.
Story time. I performed Twice's TT in Korea in the middle of the Palace Square with 300 other students from Korea University in front of media. When we got there, literally we had 2 hours to learn the entire song, 300 students to learn the entire song, and we got there and we had 2 tries to do it in front of the news, and that was aired everywhere. Alright, y'all. Alright, so a group that you got into quickly, a group that took you time to get into. Okay, so for me, a group that I got into quickly, MBLAQ, hands down. It was literally like Mona Lisa. I liked them. That was it. That was it. That started the snowball effect. That was it. A group that took me a long time to get into, it's kind of tricky. For me, K-pop is either I like it or I don't, and there's not really much in between. So honestly, would probably have to be most of the girl groups that take me a really long time to get into. I'm sorry for any of the people that stand girl groups. I don't have the appeal for a lot of the girl songs, unfortunately. I'm not saying it's a look thing. I'm saying it's an aesthetic, the type of music thing. I don't like the cutesy voices. So for me, I need the girls to have their like supernatural voices. So I stand girl groups now, but they're totally different. Dreamcatcher, go Insomnia's justice for Dreamcatcher.
So a group that I got into quickly the moment I saw them was Newest, of course. The group that took me a while to get into was probably, I want to say G-Idol. They took me a little bit, but after their second song, Han, came out, I completely fell for them, but...
Alright, favorite solo artist, boy and girl?
I need a boy.
So my favorite solo artist, hand down, is Ailey. I got into her through M Black. Her music video, the I Will Show You, actually featured Gio from M Black, and I watched it because of him. That girl can sing. I love her.
Literally.
So much. And then my favorite solo artist for boy will probably either be Ro Ji-hun or Yoo Sung-woo. Both of them are completely different. Ro Ji-hun is known for his really like, ooh, and Yoo Sung-woo is very like, ah. So yeah, those are my favorites.
Mine, first one, guy, would have to be K-Will. I love K-Will. And for girl, IU. IU's my everything. Also for girls, Jimin Park from After School. I love her. Oh, there's so many good ones though.
Yeah, there's a lot. I actually really love Amber from FX's as a solo artist as well. That girl can sing as well. Like, oh my gosh, she can sing. Alrighty. So, favorite pickup line. She's laughing because I think she knows what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Okay, so my favorite pickup line is actually an inside joke between me and another girl. So the pickup line is ramen moko kale, which means, do you want to go eat ramen? Now, for those who don't know, ramen moko kale is the equivalent of Netflix and chill in America. So that one's actually one of my favorite pickup lines. It's really like bad, but like it's so funny. If people don't know what it means and you really want to be like, hey, those two ramen moko kale.
Literally. They've actually done it.
Yeah.
A few times.
Except we've done it with people who understand the language, so you can tell where that's backfired before. Anyway.
So mine comes from EXO. So my pickup line is, oh my god.
Wow.
You don't understand when Sehun says that. He's like, oh my god.
Oh my
Oh my god.
Oh my
Yeah.
Judgment. Alright. What's the latest you have stayed up to see your faves come back? Is that really even a question? I know all y'all stands out there have stayed up all night at one point to see a comeback.
You want to know something? I had to take the ACT at my school. Shiny was coming back. Me and my friends didn't care. We stayed up till 2 in the morning just to watch it. 2:30 in the morning to watch it. And then afterwards, we died at the test. Literally, I just answered B, 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 B in all my answers.
Not that it's an important test or anything for college. The latest I've stayed up to is 2:30 to actually watch M Black come back when they did This Is War. And that was totally worth it because if you guys I've never watched the music video, spoiler alert. So Jun gets shot in the music video and he kills himself. And in the live performance, they actually edited it to where that part in the scene comes up. They put a scope, like a sniper scope, and they shot him. And when the sound effect of him, like the bullet piercing him comes, he had a piece under his jacket that exploded. And like, so literally when he got shot, he like... and he died on stage. And that was like the most epic thing. I was like, so at that time I still lived with my mom. I don't live with my mom anymore. But I was like, silently at 2 a.m.
Like me right now.
Yeah. Except without making noise. I had to whisper scream. So I was like, oh my God, they killed him on stage. Mom comes out of the door. Ryan, go to sleep. Okay, Mom. All right, number 19.
Pick a song that describes you. I want to say Stray Kids. No, Twice, Fancy. Because I'm fancy. I cannot believe I could say that. Judging me.
I'm gonna leave now.
Your turn.
So for me, I guess you could say I've kind of got a little bit of a split personality. Some days I'm really, really happy. There are some days where I'm just like, you don't want to mess with me. Yeah. So I guess I would be somewhere between EXO-L's Today, which that song is literally about loving one's self, about just, you know, taking everything that's thrown at you and brushing it off, and, you know. And the other half with me would probably be Stray Kids' Elevator. If y'all have ever read the lyrics to that, they're actually really dark, but it's kind of about everything that's pulling you down. You're on an elevator to hell, and trying to come back from that, about being like, you know, no matter what people are saying crap about you, you've just got to be strong enough to pull out of it. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, somewhere between loving myself and then somewhere between riding a elevator.
Pick a old song from Generation 1 that you like.
Let me guess. G.O.D.
No.
Oh, H.O.T.?
Yeah.
Oh, second try.
I want to say, well, no, both of them.
No.
G.O.D. Observation. And H.O.T. We Are the Future. Honestly, that song is so freaking powerful. It talks about how they want to stand up to a society that they used to live in, because that's, you know, Korea used to be really like...
Korea as an entire country is a very conservative country.
Mm-hmm.
As the newer generation is now kind of coming through, a lot of the cultural norms are starting to change. But Gen 1 really set the standard for the music industry. Before really the debut of Taejian Boys,
Mm-hmm.
which is actually a group that YG was in. A lot of the music is what you would hear, like very traditional Korean music. It was very ballad, very traditional Korean instruments. And when Taejian Boys debuted, it was very, very American hip hop. It was really in your face. They did a lot of like b-boy outfits of b-boy dancing. It was very hip hop, very, very non-traditional.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I like H.O.T. a lot. They really didn't care about anything. But yeah, H.O.T. We Are the Future.
So for me, it's going to be the spelling of it is R.E.F. ref. They did a song called EXOByeol 공식. I love that song. It's absolutely adorable. For those of you who have ever followed VIX, VIX actually did do a remake of it a couple years ago as VIX's Love Equation. It's the exact same song. It's just a remake from EXOByeol 공식, which is the name of the song. It's just a super happy, dancey song. They actually, in their music video, recreated the dance that they did. You know, they're like, nee, 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 nee. That's such a great song. So that's my favorite Gen 1 song that I like. All right. How has K-pop impacted your life?
Oh, we're getting deep now.
Yo, this is deep, y'all. So, It is a really deep question for me. Before I got into K-pop, I was really preoccupied with trying to fit in with the crowd. In middle school, I was really heavily bullied. In elementary school as well, I was really heavily bullied because of my weight. And so I always tried to fit in with the crowd. So whatever people were listening to, which at that time was like, it was really heavy rap and stuff like that, that's what I would listen to. But it wasn't because I liked it. It was just because I wanted to fit in. When I got into high school, mind you guys, I didn't get into K-pop till I was already in college. When I got into high school, the people that I hung out with listened to rock and they watched a lot of anime and stuff like that. So again, it was about inclusivity. Even though my friends in high school loved me for who I was, I still wanted to make sure that I fit in with the group. So I started listening to a lot of rock. I started watching a lot of Japanese animation. And honestly, I was not really into anime at that time. I didn't really I watched it just because it was what everybody else was doing. And so when I got into K-pop, it was actually genuinely music that I liked. I started listening to it more. It kind of covered a spectrum of everything, whether it be rap, rock, electronic music, orchestral music. It covered everything. And so I really got into it. So K-pop kind of helped me as an identifier of who I am. Now, I'm not saying like I'm a Korean or anything like that, because I'm not. But it helped me figure out that I don't need to follow the crowd in order to have friends. And even though I like K-pop, and that definitely has a negative stigma for a lot of people now, I really could care less. I mean, I walk into stuff with my K-pop merch on. I really don't care what people think about it anymore. But it also helped me through my depression. So my friend got into a car accident, and it was a pretty serious car accident in which somebody was killed. And so when my friend died, I actually kind of fell into a depression of sorts. I didn't know this girl well, but it was really shocking to me because I started playing the what if game. I started playing like, well, what if I had gone to school with them that day? Because at that time I was ditching school a lot, and I was in college at this point. And what if, I could have just said bye to her? What if I could have, if I was there, maybe they wouldn't have gotten in the car. So I actually let myself spiral out of control to the point where I almost completely flunked out of school. And I was going to a lot of K-pop concerts at that time. At that time, I was writing K-pop articles, so I was going to a lot of press conferences and stuff for K-pop, and I was like, yeah, this is my life. But at the same time, it helped me pull myself up from the bootstraps and figure that, you know what, yeah, this can still be my life, but if I flunk out of school, like, I'm going to have nothing to show for it except that I failed, and that I'm using this as a rebound, which is not what I wanted it to be. In a way, it saved my future. I wouldn't say it saved my life. I wasn't, they weren't the ones that were like, yeah, no, I'm gonna be just done with everything. I think eventually I would have figured that out, but I think that they helped me get on the path a little bit quicker. Yeah. That, and through the community I met such a great people in the K-pop community, especially when I first got into K-pop. I was writing for a page called 24/7 K-pop, and the owner at that time, Kim, even though in the end we kind of had a fallout, it was a real shame because it was mostly my fault. I met so many people that helped me in that company, like Tamar, who a lot of you guys might know. She's on Twitter as Tamar Writes, and she's done a lot of K-pop interviews. So she and Alejandro and Alex and everybody really helped me see that, yeah, I could have a future in this, but I also need to maintain focus.
Mm-hmm. So for me, I was just so lost with my life. I really didn't know what I wanted to do. And my family was like, no, you need to find something to do. And so with K-pop, I just found myself. I also realized that it's okay to be unique. It's okay to listen to music that you don't understand. Music is such a diverse. It's okay to listen to music. I feel like the way everything happened was just meant to be for me to be into K-pop.
So I'm going to say ahead of time that this may be a trigger for some people. So if you are not okay with the mention of, there are some serious mental issues going forward, I would suggest skipping ahead to the next question because we don't want to trigger anybody.
Oh, we'll put the little time to where you can skip.
Right.
So, I actually tried to kill myself one time, and I never did it again. But it was at that point where I just was so lost with my life that I just didn't know what I wanted to do. Like, everyone wanted me to do something. Everyone wanted me to be a doctor. Everyone wanted me to be a lawyer. And I was like, so when I got into K-pop, it was just my little, like, the rain that was coming down in me was starting to clear up. And it was just, like, I didn't even know what they were saying, but their music, I could, like, tell it was really meaningful. So
in other words, she's kind of like me. She kind of found, like, solace within the community. Even though, I mean, you know, Korean is not exactly, like, a language that's easy to pick up. Yeah, there are English words in K-pop, but it's, you know, language is universal in the sense of music. And the community, while there are issues within the K-pop community, for the most part, you can find really close people within the community that know what you're going through. Alrighty. So on a less heavy note, you guys, sorry that was a deep moment for both of us. Are you planning on visiting Korea anytime soon? And are you learning language? So the reason why she's staring at me is because, well, I was gonna plan on popping this on my page, but big announcement, I guess. So I'm actually moving to Korea in 5 months if everything goes right and the cards are played correctly. I was accepted into a program to teach English abroad, and so I'm actually just gathering up documentation, and I should be starting the interview process with schools in Korea, so I will be out there next year. So learning the language, I've technically been learning the language since 2011, but I never really took it seriously. I'm able to get around the city if I need to. I can hold a small conversation. I can introduce myself. I can ask questions. It's not like I'm completely hopeless, but with 8 years, I probably should be a lot more fluent than I am. I mean, it is what it is. So I am studying it a little bit harder now. My boyfriend is helping me, and so we'll see how that goes.
for me, I'm planning on going in 2 years. She'll be there by then. And learning the language, she's teaching me. I got done with chapter 1. It took me 3 months, but I got it over with. I can now understand some type of words and stuff. My friend, he was helping me out and stuff with it too, but she's the one that has helped me out the most, so let's give her an applause.
Mind you guys, I'm not the best teacher in the world. I'm still learning myself, but I actually would have to thank my sensei from Korea. She was the one that actually really motivated me to get back into the studies again and to teach others about the language. So if it wasn't for her, yeah. So sensei Minji. All right. What generation are you a part of? 1, 2, 3, or now even 4 with Super M here? So I am definitely 100% a part of Generation 2. God, girl, I ain't not that far back in K-pop. Generation 2 is my generation. I do listen to Generation 3 groups, and I'm with Generation 4. I don't know that many people. Y'all, like, when all these groups debut and they're like, have you heard of this group? And I'm like, who? And they're like, they're so big right now. Who? Yeah, so Gen 2 for me.
For me, I would have to say, I mean, I did get into K-pop when Generation 2 was dying. So, I'm like Taemin, literally.
Yeah.
Generation 2, 3, and 4. And the reason why I say I'm a Generation 4 is because I really, really like X1. I lived the pain of Produce X101. Also Super M and Luna. There's a lot of groups that I like, but those are the main ones that I like. But Generation 3 are my babies.
Yeah, she's hardcore Gen 3. Alright, and last question, but not least. Why should people try to listen to K-pop?
You answered.
Alright, so I understand that K-pop's not for everyone, whether it be just the style of music or just it being that you don't understand it. K-pop is not all one group. You know, K-pop does not revolve around Psy. K-pop does not revolve only around BTS. Don't get me wrong. I like both of them. I'm not an ARMY. I'm not,
Gangnam Style.
Yeah, no. I was part of the Gangnam Style phase, you guys. Like, really, I was out there. Okay, But I mean, I like BTS. I love their music. Their music is great, and I like Psy. But that's not K-pop. So if anybody is watching this that doesn't know K-pop, thinks that's what K-pop is. It's not. It's a lot more, and K-pop encompasses so much more. Whether you're into, you know, more of the rock and roll scene, okay, check out FT Island, check out CN Blue, check out Dreamcatcher, you know, DA6. These people all who play with live bands in their groups. If you're more of a ballad singer, check out 2AM, check out K-Well, check out Ailey, who has kind of a mixture of everything in her. If you're R&B, let's go hit up J Park, hit up Dynamic Duo. You know what I mean? And if you're into the electronic scene, there are so many different genres that are umbrellaed under what K-pop is. And if you're really not into it, then check out the indie bands, because they're just as great too. So I mean, I think people should check it out, because if you're one of the people who are just like, it's K-pop and it's all girl groups, I'm like, well, I mean, then what makes that any different from the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and the Beatles? I mean, that's literally what our equivalent is for K-pop. The only thing that makes it different is the K, which stands for Korean. It is Korean.
The reason why I feel like K-pop is seen at so much as like, oh, don't go into it. It's so cringy. It's basically sometimes because not everyone, but some of the fans that like are getting into it at the time just make it so toxic. Like she said, K-pop is, I don't know how to say it, but K-pop is just a rainbow. There's every type of music. Like there's so many bands. And what I like about K-pop also is that the idols themselves are so close to their fandom. But you just feel like you're part of their family. But yeah, like you just feel like you're part of a family, because I mean, so it's like, I don't know, it's just, there's bad parts about K-pop, but there's also good things about K-pop, the way there is with like other stuff. So if I was you guys, just give it a try. Music is such a beautiful thing that you can listen to anything and still get a vibe from it, if it makes sense.
And we're not saying, I mean, like, you know, we're not saying go jump off the K-pop bridge like we did and, you know, start buying merch, getting front row tickets to their concerts. You know, you don't even have to join a fandom, but don't hate on it just based off of what you see in the media. Because while, yeah, it is like that, there's more to it than just that, you know. And like she said, you know, coming from the Starlight fandom, at least, you know, you create such a bond with the members of your group that, you know, you want to see them happy, and it's a vice versa. It's a give and take. You know, they give out content and they work hard and relentlessly for so little in return that we as fans put it upon ourselves to make sure that they get the happiness in return, even though that's what they're trying to give to us. It's kind of like a vicious cycle. We're not saying, you know, don't go head over heels for it if you don't want to, but don't judge us and don't judge the music just based off of what you're seeing on the surface. And there are some fans that are insane, and, you know, we know them as Sasaeng fans, and we don't condone it. We don't condone it. And if anything, a lot of artists and a lot of other fandoms, including the fandom that they claim that they're a part of, are quick to shut them down. So when you see fans that are like that and you think that that's what K-pop is, trust me, it's not, and we're really quick to cut that down. But yeah, so that was a little bit about us. That was a big rant about us. We will be making a lot more videos in the future. While we're waiting, you could always check her personal page out at Bubblyshy Zumi. You can check my page out at Phantomsluvr. Both of those will be listed in our channels on the side as part of the like associated channels. So we each have our own separate blogs and content up. So yeah, feel free to check those out. As we go forward, we hope to bring more content and maybe give some giveaways. Maybe, you know, we'll see going forward. The future never knows. So until next time, you guys, see ya.
Bye.